Well, Shemai, I'm back again. So after not making any videos for weeks and weeks, I'm now doing two in one day. I doubt it'll last. I managed to play with one of my new Christmas sets, and it's this one here, and it's Merry Moose with the punch to match. And I've made this card here, and I'm going to recreate it using some more Christmassy colours. I'm going to use craft and some cherry cobbler. So this is what I'm going to be working on, and I'm going to start. As you can see, I've made a very rough template of like a snowy bank. So I'm going to put that down first. What I tend to do is just put a little tiny bit of washi in the corner like that. I'm going to start this just up a little bit higher. I think the last time I think I started it down a little bit too low. And if I can find the end of this washi, I'm mainly going to be using Balmy Blue. Oh, I give up on that washi. It seems to have, as you can see, it's still not finished, but it's all sticking to each other. So I'll manage without here. And I'm using a Tim Holtz ink dauber with a sponge on, only because it's got bigger coverage, so it'll take me less time. And I tend to, if you just rub it off first, just to get rid of the harsher edges. I'm just going to gently sponge my background. I must be honest, I didn't think this would be the first set I'd start with, but it is so cute to use. As I said before, I have got a bit of a thing about trees. So obviously, because of all the Christmassy trees in the background, the stamp set is for me. There we go. And you need to just sort of press down a little bit harder just to get rid of any harsh edges. And I'm going to just keep the darker blue then towards the top. I think it was a bit overpowering in my first one, so I'm going to use a little bit less. And also, because I'm using cherry cobbler and crumb cake, I don't want to introduce too many colours. So as you can see, I'm just stamping this off quite a bit because it comes in a little bit dark. There we are. I'm just trying to blend. What I'm going to do then is bring in some more Balmy Blue and smudge over the top, just to get rid of that line where they join. And as you can see, I'm sort of pressing quite hard now on this one, just to get rid of any harsh joining lines. There we go. So now that's my background done, and then I'm going to stamp the trees, and I'm using, there's two different sizes, so I'm going to give it a bit of perspective. My smaller trees are going at the back, and I'm actually stamping, I'm using shaded spruce. I'm stamping it off quite hard and then stamping then as if they're further off in the distance. That's about all I learned when I did art, I think, in comprehensive school. There we go. I'm just going to bring some in now from the other side. This grid paper is an absolute godsend. Shaded spruce is quite a dark green, so that's the reason I'm stamping it off. So I'm now going to use the bigger tree, and I'm just going to gently stamp this one off, and then stamp that down a little bit harder then, so if it's closer to the front. Stamp off again, and then stamp that down a little bit harder then, so if it's closer to the front. Stamp off again. So if it's closer to the front. Stamp off again. So if it's closer to the front. Stamp off again. So if it's closer to the front. Stamp off again. So if it's closer to the front. Stamp off again. There we go. Give it our tree background there. And then I'm going to trim it gently now. Carefully, sorry. Because where I put a little bit of washi has given me a white corner. And I'll just take this edge off. You do have a little bit of oil, I think, on there. There we go. So that's my background piece now. Now, as you can see on this one, I've used the stitched rectangle framelit dies. And let me show you the ones I used. I used the 3 biggest. And I've made myself a frame. So I've used the biggest and the 3rd then to make the big frame. Because I wanted to add a little bit of detail, I then used the 2nd and 3rd biggest together to give me a thin white frame, which I'm going to stick on there. I'm going to build that sort of frame up. I'm going to mat this now on a bit of crumb cake, and my 80G gun and I are not getting on very well at the moment. I bought cheaper tapes, and I'm pretty sure that they're not working properly, so I'm having to go back to the old-fashioned method now. There we go. So I'm just going to give this a bit of a mat. Bring it back in now. And then I'm going to mat it then on cherry cobbler. I love crumb cake and cherry cobbler for Christmas cards. We used to sell craft card, but they stopped doing it. But I must say, crumb cake is a very good substitute for it. So there we go. I'm going to mat it onto cherry cobbler now. I've also used for when I did the sentiment, but I wanted it to stand out a little bit more. So I used the snowflake background from the Christmas layers dies, which comes in the bundle with Itty Bitty Christmas. I just wanted it to sort of have a little bit of an extra detail to make it stand out more. I'm trying to cut a bit slower, just so I'm going to hear the squeak. So this one now, I'm going to put that to one side, and I'm going to put, using a glue pen, I'm going to put a thin layer of glue so I can then stick it to the crumb cake frame. Put that back in now. And you've got to carefully, so excuse my fluffy head, get in the way. There we go. I'll try and find a clean part of my hand. I tend to use just a piece of card to press it down so I'm not getting any ink off my hands onto my card. There we go. And I'm then going to put this around the middle of the background piece. As you can see, it comes together quite quickly. The hardest thing was actually choosing which stamp set I was going to use first. I was spoilt for choice. I'm hoping this is going to record okay, because my camera seems to be doing rather strange things at the moment. Right, so this is then going here in the centre. And I've cut my little moose 3 times. I wanted him to be a little bit thicker to stand up off the card. So I'm then going to just stick the 3 of them together. And it'll just make him stand out a bit more. He was really easy to line up with the punch, because sometimes you've got to sort of cut around them first to try to get them to fit in the punch. But he just is really easy to do, thank goodness. There we go. So there's him then. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue across here where his body is going to go, and I'm going to put 2 bone pads on his antlers. I'm assuming they're called antlers on a moose. I've never really thought about it before. Here he goes. He's going to stick on there like that. I'm just going to hold him down for the glue to catch his middle. I'm covered in glue now. Then, so I used, let me show you which one I used from the Christmas layers dies. I use this one here. And I cut it out twice because I want the big piece to go across the back like this, like that, and I wanted 2 little snowflakes then to go in the background. And I've just realised I haven't got a card, so thank goodness I got a rolly chair. So I'm now going to put this on my background card, and I think I've said before I buy pre-scored cards because I just find it much simpler. Sometimes I make my own card from scratch, but I find it much easier just to buy pre-scored cards, pre-cut and pre-scored. Oops. Right, so that's going on there. So as I say, I'm going to stick this now with this on the back, so I'm just going to put a little bit of blob of glue. Bring this in like that. It's going up here. So I'm running out of everything tonight. Let's put some foam pads on now. Here we go. That's going to stick there like that. Then these little snowflakes, because I cut this one off, you can see that the edges are not quite right. I'm going to put a tiny bit of glue, and I'm going to try and stick those edges underneath the big snowflake so they're hidden away. So you've just got the perfect edges out like this. It's just to give it a bit of dimension really. And this one is going to come further in like that, and that's all done. So here it is. There it is there. So once again I used the Merry Moose stamp set and punch from the new Occasions catalogue. I also used the Christmas layering dies, which come with the Itty Bitty Christmas bundle, and I used the stitched rectangle framelit dies. So there we go. So hopefully now I'll have a chance to play with another set tomorrow, and I shall see you very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, Hwyl fawr, and bye.